Hey you guys, welcome back. If you are dealing with someone who's narcissistic, whether you're like co-parenting with them, you're going through a divorce with them, you're going through a breakup, maybe it's a family member, maybe it's someone that you even work with, chances are you're going to struggle a little bit in this relationship or trying to just navigate yourself through this relationship that you have to deal with. It is definitely a lot of work having to deal with this type of personality. And if you're someone that's trying to like heal from this past relationship and understand maybe even all the damage that it has caused you and you're looking to rebuild, that is no easy task. Maybe you're trying to get your confidence back. Maybe you're learning how to love yourself for the first time. Maybe you're learning how to set boundaries and respond and not react to this person. And all the while, you're trying to live like a normal life and do normal day-to-day things, take care of a household, take care of kids, go grocery shopping, go to work every day. And on top of all of that, you have this relationship, which is completely draining your energy. The thing that is oftentimes the hardest in these relationships is having to learn how to set boundaries and having to learn how to respond to this person and stop reacting always to what this person is doing or saying. The reason why this is so difficult is because this person has just an innate ability to trigger the things inside of you that you're the most insecure about, the things that you worry about, the things that you fear. So because this person on some levels just has this like beautiful gift of being able to just pick at your insecurities, your fears, your worries, it is a challenge for you to learn how to manage those things inside of yourself so you do something differently when you're interacting with this person. They will challenge you to learn how to stand up for yourself when that's something that you've never really done before. They're going to flaunt their new relationship and put it in your face because it is triggering that insecurity inside of you that you have to heal and deal with, and possibly you've never even acknowledged that it was even there to begin with, and this person is just bringing all of that to the forefront. They have an ability to pretend to be someone that they're not when you know exactly who they are, and it's hard for you at times to not want to just call them out, not want to expose them, and it's hard for you to deal with the fact that everyone is believing the lies. They want to pick at you. They want to intimidate you. It's part of the game. They want you to be fearful of an outcome, and through this intimidation, through this guilt, through this manipulation, they want you to feel unsteady about what's coming forward. It kind of just like throws you off your game a little bit so they're able to have more control over not just the situation, but over you. The one thing that all narcissists crave is making you feel like you're not good enough. They want you to feel less than. They want you to feel unsure of yourself because this allows them to actually feel confident. This is where they get their highs. This is where they really get their self-esteem, is by putting you underneath them in some way. This makes them feel like they're more in control of the situation and of you. Remember, with a narcissist, life is all a contest. And so if you feel less than, then I'm already ahead of the game. When that happens, a narcissist will really feed off of that insecurity, off of that energy, that low vibration that you're now carrying, that fear, that worry, that insecurity, that self-doubt that you now have. And they can smell that a mile away. And so it allows them to feed off of you, which then boosts their own ego. And for a lot of people, they can't really understand, especially when a person, say for example, it's your ex, and clearly you're no longer on good terms, and yet it's kind of like a fly. They just kind of like swarm around you. And in some levels, you always will ask yourself, like, I don't even understand why this person even wants to be around me when they don't want anything to do with me. And this is where what they're doing is they're just craving drama. They're just craving your attention, even though they don't want to be in a relationship with you anymore, or even though they might despise you or say how much they don't like you or whatever, but they just still want to be around because they crave the attention and the drama. Now, the problem that happens in these relationships is when you need this person's approval. There are so many times where, and I think most of the times, the victims of these relationships don't really want to own the fact that, yes, I still seek this person's approval. Yes, I still want them to see me. Yes, I still want them to acknowledge how I feel or acknowledge that what they did wasn't okay. And so when you're still seeking that approval, you are still basically being controlled by this person. Now, most people can't really understand why they're still seeking this person's approval, or they can't understand why they still care about what this person has to think of them. Now, here's what you're not seeing. If you really do, if you're honest with yourself, know that you still struggle with caring what this person thinks of you, or wanting them to approve of you, or, think that you're good enough, or you're still so wounded by what they did to you. What you don't realize right now, on some level, is that you've spent a very long time with this person as they've dwindled down your self-esteem. When someone once possibly tried to build you up and gave you a sense of self and gave you self-esteem, and now all of a sudden it's been taken away, and now they think you're conniving, or that you're the problem, or that you're being so unrealistic, or that you're not being fair, or that you're selfish, or that you're a taker, which is basically all projection. So when you don't realize what's been going on, and you don't realize that your self-esteem has been basically picked at, and when that happens, you care so much because this person was once on some levels your lifeline. So because this person was your invisible lifeline and you had absolutely no idea that this was even going on, what you don't realize is that you gave this person way more control over how you feel about yourself than you should have. You valued their opinion more than you did your own. Maybe on some levels, you even put them above you. Maybe you thought they were smarter. Maybe you thought they were more capable than you were. Now, what you're not really seeing is that you actually felt less than before you ever even got into this relationship. Maybe you already were struggling with codependency and you had absolutely no idea. Maybe you already didn't have the healthiest sense of self or the self-esteem that you really should have coming into this relationship, and this person just basically magnified all of those traumas and insecurities that you had that were already living inside of you before you ever even met this person. So when you need a person in these unhealthy ways, when they do stop caring or they think that you are being selfish, like there is going to be some part of you that's going to know that it's ridiculous for you to care what they think, but you're still going to want them to care about you. You're still going to want them to view you in a certain way. You're still going to, on some levels, care about what they think and how they feel. You're going to have self-doubt that when they call you selfish or when they call you unreasonable, there's a part of you that goes, am I really being unreasonable? And you start to question yourself. Now, all of that and that unhealthy need that you might still have within yourself started way before you ever met this person. It really started in your childhood. When you look back on your life, the very first people that you absolutely did need approval from was mom and dad. And if you never got it, if you never got validation, if you never got approval, if you never emotionally got what you needed from both of them, you're going to have a void. And if you're unaware of all of this, as you go into your adulthood, you're going to look for that void to be filled unknowingly. So when none of those things were ever really dealt with or healed, then you go into your adult relationships like missing these parts of you that you should have in order to be a healthy, whole adult. Now, we all need basic needs. We all need approval. We all need validation. We need that voice to tell us that what we're thinking is okay. We need that voice to tell us that no, what you're asking for is not too much and you're not selfish right now. Now, the problem is if you don't have that inner dialogue and you don't know how to do that for yourself, what happens? You seek it outside of yourself because it's still a basic need that you have. And if you're not providing it, you're going to look for it in other people. Now, in order to stop caring about what someone thinks, especially this person, because you know they're toxic, you know they're unhealthy, you know that your need for wanting them to approve of you or give you that validation or whatever that looks like for you is unhealthy. It's not how you want to be living and you need to change it. The first step with any change is recognizing when you're doing the thing that you know you don't want to do anymore. So the first step to not caring what someone thinks is to actually be aware of when you are still seeking someone's approval. Now, seeking approval or wanting someone's validation is going to look like a couple different things. First off, it's going to look like over-explaining. When you're wanting to clarify how you feel and the reasons why it's okay to feel how you feel, that's over-explaining. When you want someone to agree with you, number 2, if you need someone to agree with how you think and what you're feeling right now, not only is that codependent, but you're still seeking approval from someone else outside of you. When you're coming from a dysfunctional place, seeking someone or wanting someone to agree with how you feel, it basically just soothes yourself. It gives you that kind of like stamp of like, okay, it's okay that I feel this way. And that's the first thing that you were supposed to learn growing up. You were supposed to get that validation that it's okay that when you fall and you bump your knee and you feel that it hurts, that someone just empathizes with you and validates that, yes, of course, that hurts. But when someone wasn't able to do that and they just tell you you're okay and brush it off, as a child, as a baby, when you hear that over and over again, you start to question your own judgment. You start to question your innate feelings that will just, your intuition, that guidance, that knowing that comes up for us. When it comes up, if that wasn't something that was honed and fostered and nurtured, you're not going to be an adult that's going to be very connected to your own self. And so when you feel certain things and someone tells you, no, it's not okay that you feel that way or you're wrong, you're going to either question yourself, and this is where self-doubt comes from, or you're just going to believe them right off the bat and not even really stay connected with yourself and learn how to hone that and not need someone else's approval and allow other people to actually disagree with you. Coming from a healthy space is when you get to the place where it's okay that people don't agree with you. It's okay that people don't see it the way you do. When you can really live there, first of all, you will not be a part of majority of arguments or disagreements because you don't need someone to give you that validation that what you think is okay or that how you feel is valid. You are already doing that for yourself. You will really move yourself away from the people that just want to argue and where their egos are at the forefront and they just want to go tit for tat with you because they want you to agree with them, or you're so frustrated because they can't see your side of it. You'll no longer need that type of approval or that validation from people. When that starts to happen, you immediately will stop caring what people think. Now, in order to do that, you have to parent yourself when you are seeking other people's approval, caring what they think about you, wanting to over-explain, wanting to justify what you think and how you feel. When those things are still going on, you know that you're in the old habit. You're playing the old tape of how you used to operate in this relationship. But when you start to be aware of like, oh, look at me go. I'm starting to like really over-explain, or I'm wanting to like justify why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I want you to agree with me. I want you to see this. When you stop fighting that game and you just take a step back and you no longer need those things anymore. It's irrelevant whether or not you agree with me. That you have completely just cut the ties between you and this person. Now, I know this is easier said than done. It is 100% a practice, but I want you to watch this video time and time again and really go into these interactions with this person or possibly people. Try to just practice on one person at a time and just really be aware of when are you doing the things that you've always done, seeking the approval, over-explaining, really caring what someone thinks, and start practicing how to parent yourself through that so you can just start to cut the ties between you and this person. That will really free yourself from still caring what this person thinks of you. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.